Hey there, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Ezra Ortiz.
Yeah, and my buddy Rick's still out. If you just keep praying for his son Jake, he's hopefully getting out of the hospital today. Knock on something. I don't know what to knock on around here. But he's hopefully getting out of the hospital today, and Rick should be back joining us again soon. But look who is joining us today. It's been forever. It is the one, the only Kenn Kington.
It is so good to be back with you, and I've been praying for Jake big time. I just love that kid. What a great kid! And somebody actually reminded me via a text this morning. Today is my 6-year anniversary of open heart surgery.
Has it been that long already?
My heart stopped for 2 hours, and they fixed it up, and I've been living bonus days for the last 6 years. Is that crazy? Wow. It seems like yesterday.
Yes, because I remember taking you to Chick-fil-A shortly after your surgery, and you had your little heart pillow that you had to hold on to. And
yes, indeed. And that's one of my favorite lines to give people. I'm like, they give you that. They say the first day is the worst day afterwards, and you hug the pillow, and it really works. Until or unless you sneeze, which I did. And I tell people, if you don't know what that feels like, just grab any pillow, hold it against your chest, and then take a butcher knife and stab yourself through the pillow. That's what it feels like.
Oh, man.
Wow.
But at least the pillow was there. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what the pillow's for, right?
Soften the blow a little bit.
But yeah, it's been a quite a ride, and it is amazing to think back that. And every year until COVID, I would actually go to the hospital and go to the waiting room where my wife and friends were, and just sit in there and pray for everybody that was having it done that day. So I'll do that a little bit today. I don't know if I can get into that room, but
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every day's
What
a
a crazy 6 years it's been since then. I mean, just look at the last 4 years, however long we've been in through the COVID transition here. It's been crazy.
Absolutely. And I can't imagine the people that have to go through the whole hospital thing during COVID, just the alone part. And yeah, we weren't meant to be isolated like that. So
no. Thank goodness we can see each other again. Well, if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you see that Kenn has not just Kenn, it says Kenn with Ozzy. So you want to introduce your special assistant there?
Yeah, Ozzy is actually, I'll see if you can see him over there.
There we go.
He's guarding the steps right now. He's my personal assistant now. We rescued he's a golden doodle, and rescued him about 3 months ago, and he's overcome a lot of timid shyness. I don't know what happened to him before, but he is an absolute hoot, and he is a gentle giant, and it's just been great. He really has been great. Having an office at home and just having him around is pretty hilarious.
Now, does he go get you coffee and stuff like that, or make breakfast for you, or?
No, but we did discover that we needed to keep everything put up. He never jumps on furniture, and he never gets anything off the counters unless we are not home. And he actually ate an entire bushel of 4 bananas.
Wow.
Peel and all.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was some interesting backyard fireworks for a couple days.
So he's part monkey, apparently. There's nothing.
I guess. But he's hilarious. And he and I just went, we've got a run we do once or twice a week to Martin's, where I get a biscuit and they give him a piece of bacon out the window, and we share the biscuit, and it's like a highlight of his week. So we're rocking. We're loving it.
That's
awesome. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I just can't get over the bananas thing, man. That is.
He wanted to be more appealing.
Yeah, it was literally, there was just that little top pieces that were left, and the rest of them were gone.
My
and he
God.
had this look on his face like, what did I just do?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Been there, done
That's
that.
too good.
All right. So, Kenn, recently you and our friend Ken K. Dodd had a show together, and that was kind of close by. Tell us a little bit about that before we get into things you got coming up.
Oh, absolutely. Anymore coming out of COVID, there's a lot of different really cool ministries that are raising funds, and that one was to help with the battered women's shelter over in West Georgia. And we just did a show together. I love working with Kay,
Hmm.
and it went so well, and just garner some support. And I think people are just really ready to laugh. They're like,
Yeah.
man, just can we just break away for an hour and laugh? And I'm doing a bunch of new COVID material. It's been long enough to where we can look at it and see some of the ridiculousness and
Hmm.
go, okay, this really was funny.
Yeah.
And it's just a blast to kind of laugh and move forward. But yeah, that show was great, and I've done quite a few. Just got back from Manhattan, Kansas, and Terre Haute, Indiana, and next week I'll be in Wyoming, and then I've got Boise, Idaho. It's just I'm
You're
kind of
playing all
all
the
over
big
the place.
metropolises, Ken.
Yeah, the
Yep.
big cities. Yes,
Yes.
indeed. That's my jam.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially there with Manhattan, Kansas. Is that what you said? That's
Yes.
yeah.
Kansas
Not to be
State, and I must
confused
have
with the other Manhattan.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have rubbed off on them because they had their homecoming game that weekend, and the show I did was on campus at Kansas State, and they beat number 9 Oklahoma State like 41-3 or something. They just
Wow.
Oh, man.
crushed them. So, if you're a college and you need a big win, have me in. I'll do a
Yeah.
show.
There you
And
go.
it just becomes obvious.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Ken. So your next visit, you need to go visit Texas Tech for me. I would appreciate that.
Suns
Right
up,
there.
get your guns up.
Get your guns up. That's right. All right, but you have a show coming up. Let's talk about that first. Coming up, actually, this Saturday. So no pressure, but get your tickets soon.
Yeah, they've been going great. I think done 2 events in the last 12 months in Georgia. So it is so cool to get to do something local. Kennesaw. And speaking of guns, it's at the Governor's Gun Club.
Yes,
And
love
they've
that
got an
place.
incredible community room. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to shoot a gun. You can just come and laugh and have fun. And I'm going to bring a friend with me to do a short set as well. Isaac Whitty, who used to he was iconic in the early 2000 teens. Letterman, Conan, Jimmy Fallon. I mean, he did everything. He was like one of the top guys in the country, and kind of just a neat story how we connected. He lives close by, but his life just crashed. I mean, you can imagine it was the typical performer story. He had it all, and then just lost it all, and really had a come to Jesus moment, which was super cool. If you ever get to hear his story. And so I've been I'm not mentoring, just befriending him, and he's been doing some shows with me, and it's been incredible. So he's going to do a set with me there, and it's just going to be a blast. And there are some tickets. You can go to Governor's Gun Club or to KennKington.com and hit the link and get it that way. I think the VIP tables are all taken, but there's a few general admissions still left.
Awesome. So check that
Yeah,
out.
that sounds good.
KennKington.com, or what was the Governor's Gun Club website? Do you know?
I think it's Governor's Gun Club.
Okay.
If you Google that,
Or
One
just
of
call
those.
up Ozzy.
It'll
He'll
pop
set
up
it up
somehow.
for you.
that's right. Call Ozzy, text him, and he'll text you back some nonsense because he has no opposable thumbs.
That's awesome. We're talking to Kenn Kington, our buddy, comedian / speaker / pastor / dad / you name it. He does it. Real quick, speaking of dad, give us an update on all the kids.
Oh man, they're doing so good. Graham was in big event management, and then the COVID hit right as he graduated. So
What a great time to be in that.
So he's actually with a group called On Location, and they do peripheral events over major events. They hire staffing and shows and dinners and all that around big events. And his 2 events that he's responsible for staffing are the Super Bowl and the Masters.
Well, how rough for him.
I'm telling you,
Wow.
he's literally over like $500 million worth of work, and I'm like,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Dude.
Man.
Wow.
Cody is now a commercial pilot, and he's almost got enough hours to be with an airline, so he's
Awesome.
excited.
Good for
And
him.
Kennedy is down at a place I'd never heard of till last year, but she's at Word of Life Bible Institute down in Florida.
Yeah.
And just doing incredible. She's about to go to Israel over spring break and just serving and learning and growing. It's just great. And Heather's still teaching school and loving life, playing tennis, and now we have Ozzy. So our empty nest has got a large animal walking around. But other than that, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
And apparently he's claiming territory too. So.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much his house. He got on the bed the other night and basically pushed me off in the middle of the night. I'm like, why is Heather doing this? And it wasn't her, it was him just shoving me.
Did I do something wrong? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Heather, have you not shaven recently? You're very hairy.
Been meaning to talk to her about that. But yeah, they're all doing great.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. Your kids are amazing. Did I see that one of them got engaged, or am I dreaming things? I thought.
No, my oldest got married.
Get married.
December.
Okay.
And they live in Alpharetta, and it's so funny. We're like, really? You want to live in Alpharetta? And
it's so far away.
And it was so funny because now their lease is about up, and they're like, God, we found we're going to move closer back towards you guys because, I mean, for what we're paying for a 1-bedroom apartment, we can rent a house.
Yeah.
And a yard. And we're like, yeah. We told you that.
Yeah. Yep. Man,
they got to learn it for themselves, though.
You got to learn it for yourself. And I'm sure we had some of those as well.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about, you said you want to talk, you want to go there. You want to talk about politics and how to vote. Of course, next Tuesday, praise God, the election's here. Hopefully we'll stop seeing all these silly commercials that just invade our TV every commercial break.
Yes. Well, it shows, I asked people, I'm like, how much would you pay if there was a filter that you didn't have to see any political commercials? I mean, literally, how much would you pay? And it's somewhere around $100 and $200 people are willing to pay to never have to watch a political commercial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. I'm with
them.
I
think there's an opportunity there for some entrepreneur to come up with that for a TV.
Yep. Yeah. I like that.
But I really do. I don't do political humor except for right after the election. I'll usually go, hey, if you guys won, congratulations. If they lost, welcome to the first day of the end of the world. It's so intense. But I really haven't watched TV other than what we've recorded in sports for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And man, my life is really a lot better.
Yeah.
And I just don't get into it. And people are like, well, who are you going to vote for? And I said, you know what? I would encourage you. Don't watch anything. And then sit down and just pray, okay, which of these candidates is going to vote for and represent what I would vote for if I were in office? Mm-hmm. Which one's going to do that the most? And vote for them.
Yep.
That it really is. You can skip all the mudslinging and all the, oh my gosh, did you hear? And all that. Mm-hmm. Just skip it.
Yeah.
And do that, because here's where I've landed. And I've actually shared this I shared it Sunday when I was speaking at a church in Indiana. I said, you know what? Here's the harsh reality. If the person you vote for is elected, it's still not going to provide lasting peace and hope.
Yep.
Only God can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if the person you voted for isn't elected, God can still and will still provide hope and peace and joy regardless.
Yeah.
And what I've seen in history is the darkest times is usually when revival happens. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not saying who's going to do what, or I'm just saying I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote for whoever's going to vote for what I believe God would want us to do. But it's just not on the top of my list. I'm like, okay, Lord, if I need to be persecuted, let's go.
Yeah.
If that means you're going to be glorified and you're going to be lifted up, I'm there. And I'm just so over it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to be. But and when we think about it as believers, really only God can give lasting, meaningful hope and peace and joy. And today being the 6 year anniversary, I'll never forget the peace I had going into surgery where the surgeon had told my wife he's got a 50-50 shot. And I had total peace. And that makes no sense if you don't know Christ and know where your eternity is going to be.
Yeah.
So that God only God can do that. So that's my political commercial.
I love it. And
I'll vote for you.
Yeah. Ken for president.
There you go.
And Ozzy's the vice president. I love
Exactly. Nobody's going to mess with him.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that though, because we don't watch much TV, or at least broadcast TV. But my wife and I are old people. We have to watch Wheel and Jeopardy every evening, and every commercial is a political commercial, and I'm just like, I'm even willing to stop watching Jeopardy just to stop seeing all this junk. Love it, Ken. And all right, so let's talk about you're giving away not just tickets to a show. Not just a show nearby. You're giving away a free show wherever. I saw this on your Facebook last night, and you're willing to fly to anywhere on your dime to do a show. Tell us all about that.
It came out of I've had a lot of TV projects that did really well. I think there's 6 of them out there. I had 2 Netflix specials back in the day, and I've got one on Amazon Prime right now. And after all of that, and I'm on satellite radio all the time, and it's great. But the Dry Bar special that I did really surprised me. They dropped it. I have no control. They dropped it on YouTube, and I've never had a 1 million view video on YouTube. So we came up with the idea, and so many people at shows now are like, man, I just needed a laugh. Thank you for that. And so I talked to my team, and especially the young lady who's doing social media for us. And I said, what can I do to connect in that way? And we came up with the idea of #Kenn, the number 1 in the word million. And if you go to YouTube and you just click on the Kenn Kington Dry Bar special, you can watch 5 minutes of it, and you comment #Kenn, the number 1 in million. When that video, which is now I think somewhere around 700,000, when that hits 1 million, we're going to draw one name of anybody who has put that hashtag in there, and we found out you can enter every day. So there's people that are doing that as well. But we're going to pick one name out, and I'm going to fly anywhere in the country and do a show for whoever wins that. And it can be a family reunion. It can be in your backyard. It can be at your church, your business. You pick it. But I'm going to do it 100% free for whoever you want to invite to it. And we've got some really great feedback on it, and that's going really well. And people are like, so I get tickets to the show, and I'm like, no, I'm going to come to your place. I'll come to your backyard and do it on a diving board if you want me to. I'm coming to your place. So I'm actually super excited. Selfishly, I hope somebody in Alaska or New Hampshire wins it, because those are the 2 states I haven't done a show in yet. But, man, I'm gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, Alaska in the middle of winter, that might be kind of dark and depressing there, Ken.
Well, they need to laugh.
Yeah,
very true.
I gotta tell you, one of my favorite shows ever was in Grand Forks, North Dakota, in January.
Wow.
And when Becky told me about that, I said, are you out of your mind?
Which Becky is, so yes.
She's my road manager. And she said, well, they said they're going to do this. It was in an armory that sat about 1,000 people, and they had 1,500 people crammed in there.
Wow.
And think about it. In North Dakota in January, there's nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an hour and 10-minute show, and they're like, 2 more. We don't want to go home yet. It was just great. So I can't wait to see where I end up.
All right. So look for that video. They can find it on YouTube, the Dry Bar comedy video.
Yeah, just put Kenn Kington and Dry Bar, and it'll pop up. I'm wearing a Barney purple shirt, and
Barney
watch the
purple
show and just put the hashtag. It's Kenn with two N's, but Kenn the number one and then word million.
All
And
right.
you're entered.
He can be in your backyard.
There you go.
That'll be fun, especially if you live in Alaska. All right, real quick, we got to go here in just a second. But the second greatest prayer that you've ever learned, can you do it quickly?
That's a great question. I think off the top of my head, it's just basically, okay, Lord, whatever you want right now, that's what I want. And it transforms a lot of just the way I think and the where I am. But it's like, okay, Lord, right now, what do I need to be rejoicing in? And here's the deal. What joy is not circumstantial.
Right.
And what happens is, I mean, it says also we rejoice in suffering and count it pure joy when you encounter trials. So it doesn't matter what I'm going through, Lord, what is the joy right now that I need to be a part of? And yesterday it was a young couple that just found out their child was diagnosed with cancer. And that took me back to when Heather and I did that with Kennedy, and Heather said, I pulled over the side of the road and said, Lord, thank you for this. I rejoice for whatever you're going to do in it. And that's one of the darkest times of our lives, but it just ties us into a power that the world just doesn't have.
Yeah. Awesome. It's always good time with Kenn Kington, and it's been way too long. So, Kenn, let's not wait this long again between times.
Absolutely. And Ezra, I'm covetous of your beard. I can't do that. God did not bless me that way. So
he just started that yesterday with No Shave November. So
yeah, that's true.
Nice. Thanks for having me on. It's great to see you guys again.
Ken, it's always great to see you. Give a hug to Heather and the rest of the family for us. It's always a blast. Be sure to check him out this Saturday at Governor's Gun Club. You can find out more details on Ken's website or on the Governor's Gun Club website. He'd love to see you there. All right. I'm so used to Rick doing this, and he's so fluid when he does it. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Ezra Ortiz.
And we'll be back.